Now, back in September, we launched our Menopause Manifesto, a pledge to push for real change in how the menopause is dealt with and spoken about in all aspects of life, from GP surgeries to the workplace. Today, we're going to be focusing on the U part of our pledge, that is understanding the symptoms. And we asked you to send in your questions, and renowned GP and menopause specialist Dr. Louise Newson joins us now to answer as many as she can. Hi there, Louise.
Hi.
Hi. Nadia has the first question for you.
Hello, Louise. How are you doing? So glad you're on today. This is brilliant because I'm always getting asked so many questions to ask you. So I've got one here from Joanna. She says, I'm 47 and have very heavy periods over the last year. I've been tearful, angry and forgetful, and it's a real worry. I thought I had dementia. I'm on the edge all the time. I went to the doctors and was offered antidepressants. I had a blood test that showed I wasn't perimenopausal. What should I do?
So there's lots of things there. Firstly, she needs to get the right help, advice, support and treatment. And it sounds like she's probably perimenopausal. So perimenopause is before the menopause, when symptoms start to occur and periods often change in nature. And actually most women in their 40s will be perimenopausal. We also know there isn't a blood test or a urine test or a saliva test or any test for the perimenopause or menopause. It's tested on symptoms alone. So if a woman is experiencing symptoms and periods are changing, it's very likely that she is perimenopausal. So the information she's been given actually doesn't seem correct. Antidepressants won't help improve the low mood associated with the perimenopause or menopause either. As you know, it's a hormone deficiency and hormones start to decline in the perimenopause. So what she really probably would benefit from is having her own hormones back. Not as in a replacement, but just topping up what's missing. So she should get some more information. She should monitor her symptoms, put them in a questionnaire, and then she should go back to her GP and talk about whether she can have her own hormones back, which are likely to improve many of her symptoms.
Wow. Oh, I've got a question next. So, an anonymous viewer asks, do you put weight on during the menopause, as I've been told it's due to getting older?
Yeah, I mean, yes, in a single quick answer. What happens is that with the menopause, it's a hormone deficiency with health risks, as you all know, and the most important hormone is estrogen. Now, when our estrogen stops being produced by our ovaries, we can't get it anywhere else. We can't eat it. We can't exercise to get estrogen back. But our fat cells actually produce a really weak, not very nice actually, type of estrogen, but it's all our bodies can do. So a lot of women find that they put on weight, especially around the midline, and these fat cells are trying to help our bodies produce a bit of estrogen. But also, as you know, a lot of women feel rubbish. They feel very low in their mood. They feel they have less energy, less stamina. They don't want to exercise. And also they often have sugar cravings because of the low estrogen, like a lot of women do just before they have their period. So then they often eat worse. A lot of women tell me they comfort eat or they're drinking more alcohol to try and numb their symptoms. So there's lifestyle changes which mean that they can put on weight, but there are metabolic changes. So a lot of women have no change to their lifestyle, yet they're putting on weight. And this is because their body's trying to get estrogen. We're designed to have estrogen in our bodies. We've got cells that respond to estrogen all over our bodies. There's not one that doesn't. So therefore, our body just wants it so it can function better.
Great.
I've got a really interesting question. This one's come in from Margaret, and she's 64, and she says she still gets night sweats, and she'd previously been on patches, but she came off after 10 years. So the doctor has told her that she shouldn't go back on at her age, but she wanted to get a second opinion from you and ask you what you thought about that.
Yeah, obviously I can't give individualised advice, but actually, as I've said, the menopause is a hormone deficiency, which lasts forever, actually, the same way that insulin is a hormone, well, diabetes is a hormone deficiency of insulin. And so there's no reason that women need to stop taking hormones at a certain age. People in the past were worried about the risk of clot or the risk of breast cancer, but the body-identical hormones that we prescribe for women that's available on the NHS, there's no proven increased risk of breast cancer we give the oestrogen through the skin as a patch, gel or spray, and there's no risk of clot there either. So this means that women can quite safely take HRT forever. The NICE guidelines say we should just review every year, and as long as the benefits outweigh the risks, women can continue. And it obviously can help symptoms, but more importantly for me as a physician, it helps reduce future risk of heart disease, osteoporosis, diabetes, dementia. And seeing as most women die from heart disease and dementia, anything that reduces that risk has got to be really good for women.
Well, Louise, you mentioned concern over breast cancer there, and I think historically many women have been concerned about the connection that's been established, certainly in the past. And we've got a question from Rose that kind of relates to that. She said, I'd love to get advice and help on the menopause. If you are unable to take HRT due to past breast cancer, I feel like I have lost myself, says Rose.
Oh, so breast cancer is just not one condition. There are different types, there are different grades, and there's also different times since people have had breast cancer. So there's never a no for HRT. That's the most important thing. And so people really need to look at the evidence. There's very little evidence about giving HRT to women with breast cancer. Some evidence says that actually it's good. Some women's evidence says it might not be as good. And so then it boils down a lot more to choice and individualisation of weighing up the benefits and the risks. Some women choose to take HRT because of the health benefits, even if they've had breast cancer. Other women don't and try alternatives, but they won't replace those hormones. So we have produced a booklet on the on my balance-menopause.com website, or there's information on the free Balance app, specifically for women who've had breast cancer. And I think the important thing is that women receive individualised advice, whether they've had breast cancer or not, whether they've got other conditions or not. Every woman deserves individualised advice from someone who's got training and education in the menopause. So if someone is turned down for HRT for any reason, they should actually seek out help from someone who's got education and information that's evidence-based about in the menopause.
Whenever I talk about the menopause on any of my social media channels, the question that I'm asked over and over again, Louise, is about testosterone and sex drive. So many women lose their sex drive. Is it available on the NHS? And how do you convince your doctor to give it to you?
So you're absolutely right. I haven't met many menopausal women who have got their libido back, and so many women actually don't talk about sex, but it's so important actually. So we know that estrogen can help some women's libido, but testosterone often helps more. Now, the NICE guidance in the menopause, the National Institute of Health and Care Excellence guidance, came out now 6 years ago to the day almost. It was November 2015 it came out. And in that it says that testosterone can be considered for women who have low sexual desire despite taking HRT. Now, testosterone, as you know, isn't licensed for women in the UK, which is absolutely scandalous and barbaric. We're not allowed our own hormone back. It's allowed for men, of course it is. So on the NHS, we can prescribe male testosterone in lower doses because it's the same hormone, it's just testosterone, but we use less as women. Interestingly, before the menopause, we produce 3 times more testosterone than estrogen. So some of us could argue that maybe it's more important than estrogen, who knows? Very little research has been done on testosterone in women, and the research that has been done is all about libido. But it does show that it can improve libido. So women can have the male testosterone prescribed on the NHS, or there is this other licensed preparation that's licensed in Australia, which we are allowed to prescribe privately, called Androfem. It's a cream, and it works out about 80p a day. Now, there's a big move. Some of the work I'm doing with NHS England as an advisor for their national menopause programme is actually trying to get it available as a prescribable licensed product on the NHS, because it should be. I mean, men can buy Viagra over the counter, but we're not allowed to prescribe testosterone for women in the NHS. There's a real gender inequality here that has to be addressed with some urgency, actually, because a lot of women do benefit from testosterone, really helping their libido as well as some other benefits.
Louise, unfortunately, we have run out of time. So much information in there. Really, really useful. Thanks so much for joining us, Dr. Louise Newson.
Thank you.
For all your questions.
Thanks for inviting me.